Alright, here it is. It's the video review of Fansproject CA-13 diesel and military multiplexer kit. Their causality line, the fifth and final member of the M3 combiner. Diesel, the Motormaster analog in their Stunticons. And this is the basic packaging, and the first thing you'll notice is that it's very heavy. There's a lot packed into this guy, and it really shows. The box weighs a few pounds. It's deceptively heavy based on the size of the package. And inside, we won't focus on it too much. The back's got all sorts of configuration pictures and things like that. So open this up, throw the box off to the side. Inside you've got the instruction manual with a bio card for diesel. A little bit of the story, one of the special reports from whatever secret agent is reporting them, and then the instruction booklet. There is a story here in the front about how Diesel controlled the stunt team and manipulated races, and how they got to the multiplexer. The combiner hunter in the war, they combined to become the Motor Squad Military Multiplexer, or M3. Intimidator is not actually listed anywhere in here. You can see M3, 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 M3 all in bold. So they really want you to know that this is the Combiner Hunter M3 and not Intimidator. You can call them whatever you want, but there's that. And then here's the instructions. I'm going to have these out just in case, because there's a lot of steps to this guy, and even practicing this, just being safe and making sure I know where everything goes is not going to hurt. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and get him out of his little plastic shell here. And here is Diesel in full-on truck mode. And look at that, it looks like Motormaster. He's got the black cab. He doesn't actually have any rotation here. I thought there was supposed to be like a little bit of side-to-side on the cab, but it really is pretty much locked in place. You can kind of detach even this gray part and get a little bit of motion in the hips there, but it's not, like you're not really going to get any benefit out of that. And it's going to look weird because you're going to be moving this whole gray panel and hollow out the trailer as it is. Here he is with the other Stunticons, the other members of the Motor Force Military Multiplexer Combiner, M3. So yeah, they look good together. About this, in scale with each other in the same way that the G1 figures were. This trailer is packed full of stuff, as you'll see in a minute. You cannot fit, even though technically the space is there, that's not hollow at all. So you can't actually put any of these cars in the trailer itself. People kept asking for Classics Prime. I don't have any version of that mold, but there he is with Toy World's Orion. So he's a little smaller than Prime, as he was even back in the day. And in Classics Prime is a little smaller than that, not much. So he's not quite as out of scale with Classics Prime, but he is a smaller truck, at least the cab-wise, smaller truck. So yeah, he's got his little add-on, this little bit right here. This comes off the back. That helps form the rifle and fill in Last Chance's arm in combined mode. We'll go ahead and set that off to the side for the time being. Alright, so to get this guy into robot mode, and it's a little crazy. First off, you just kind of grab him right here and pop him right in half. Yeah. And then to make, you can have him in like this shorter form, kind of delivery truck looking thing. And in order to complete that, you can see there's a big open space in the back here. You actually take the back doors off of the trailer, and they just peg into the sides. When these will form the shotguns in a minute. You just take the back door off, peg it in up here, like this, and then you've got the short mode truck, just like that. And what's neat about this is the top and bottom half. You can see here, this middle piece is the two halves of the sword, and the top and bottom half are the same parts. You'll see the tabs up here, and basically you can orient this any way you want. If you pop off the wheels, which become the little roller car / shield, as well as the sword handle from the underside of this, and flip it over, you can peg the that and like that. Just peg it, oh, there we go, right in there, and it can go like that. So like it's it's the same piece just plugged in on top of each other. So it doesn't matter which one is the top or bottom, really. Kind of neat. But anyway, this is all the extra armament. We're going to pop this off to the side. We'll go ahead and pop those off. The little roller collar and the sword handle, and set them off to the side as well. We'll get to this. Actually, I'll go ahead and split this in half. You can see the top and bottom, they're the same pieces. Now, one half will store the hands and the sword, but you can see if I wanted to, I could take this sword piece and store it right over here and make this the bottom, and take the hands and do the same thing over here. So, yeah, neat little pieces there. And then the sword pieces, just take them off, snap them together like that. Take the sword tip, squeeze it together like that to form the sword tip, and then the sword handle we just took off the bottom of the truck, and there is his giant sword. We'll set that off to the side now. These we'll deal with in a minute. Let's deal with Diesel here first. First off, let me see if I can't get a little bit closer here with my camera, so I don't have to reach as far to show off the transformation. So here he is, the short truck. Go ahead and pop this back door off. I know we just stuck it on, but the back door splits in half. Fold it in half. There is one shotgun. Fold it in half, and there are two shotguns. Again, off to the side with those for the time being. Now the cab, you want to come up here and split the roof here. Open up these panels and bring them all the way down. Fold them up like this. And you rotate them out and back like this. And then this is what you don't see in the instructions, but you're supposed to rotate these wheel pieces up and around into there you go, so they snap into place inside these panels. Now, if you want to here for ease of transformation or at any point because you don't like them, these panels are on ball joints right here. They pop right off. And then if you want to put them back, they pop right back on. So if you want to get these out of the way for transformation to make it a little easier, you can totally do that. I'm going to leave them on, even if it's going to cause me to stumble a little bit, because that's what the instructions say to do. But if you don't like these at any point, combined mode, robot mode, you can pop them off. So yeah, bring it down. Bring the legs down here. We're going to get to the upper body here in a minute. So here's the cab part. And you split this. There it goes, tabs here. Now these wheels, somebody was asking, these wheels don't tab in anywhere. They won't go in any further than that, but they're just on a loose hinge. They don't snap or lock or tab anywhere. They're just there. And there we go. So separate those out. There's the two legs. And then the cab comes down, and this is weird. You rotate it down. There's one of the connectors. And you'll see the connector has like a little tab on it. This is what it's not actually round, and it's got this tab on it. It's not like it's similar, but not exactly the same as the giant connectors. It's smaller, and it's kind of an oval shape with a tab on one end. So even if they had the right connector ports, you couldn't connect giant to this. Now these are the parts, like these little struts right here, are where I worry about possibly snapping something, because the ratchet joint right here is very tough, and it's on this thin piece. So the legs come like this. Bring them up. Oh yeah, collapse this whole joint collapses around the leg like this. Fold this leg in, you bring this down. You actually rotate it right here, this window on the front of the cab. You have to rotate up like that. And this will peg in like this. This should wrap around. Does that latch in there yet? I think that just sits there. And then there's this, you fold this up and tab this in to make the foot. And then you can see there's like a ball joint, a hinge, a hinge, and a hinge. And the trick is, what you're trying to do is get it so the foot sits, and then this little tab right here, or this peg hole right here, sits on this little tab right here. So you fold it up, and then fold it around like that, till that tabs in right there. And then you bring it around on this ball joint, fold it down. So tab it down, fold it down on the ball joint, and then rotate the foot so it sits facing the front half of that, and then fold that up around the back. And that's the leg. And the thing is that there's this tab here on the foot. I don't know if you can see it there. there's a tab here on the foot that, yeah, right there, that tabs into here for combined mode, but the way the foot snaps together doesn't let it fold flat, so it does kind of always keep the foot at an angle. He does have good range of motion in the ankles, but he can't sit completely flat-footed. All right. And we do the same over on this leg. Rotate that window up. There we go. And then round, tab, rotate, and then like that. All right, so there his legs are done, and fold the wheel in. Now the upper body up here. See if we can maybe get a little bit more light in there. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. So now he's standing up. You come up here. You open up these panels right here, out to the side, and then let me tilt the camera up just a little bit so we can see a little bit more what's going on. Come on, there we go. So it comes up like this. Flip the head up right here. There's a tab on the front of the head that this pegs into. Actually, before you do that, these pieces right here, make sure you rotate them up so his shoulders, you can see how this piece is sitting down. You want to bring his shoulders up here. All right, come on. Then fold this up, rotate the head around. This whole thing comes forward and pegs in here. Come on. And then you rotate the waist around to bring the feet facing forward. These, you can move this a little bit, fold these panels down here on the back flat. Make sure that waist is lined up right, or these side panels won't go down. These are going to be the combined modes, kind of cod piece, crotch piece, waist piece, whatever. And you can fold those back pieces down along his back. Then the arms, you lift this piece up on the side, slide the hand out like that, open up the arm, fold this down, fold the arm, rotate it like that, bring it down, and then rotate the fist, and then you can flip this connector out on the shoulder, but it can stay down as well. Same over here on this arm, rotate this up, slide it up, bring it down, fold that flat back, and there is Diesel in robot mode. This is not his fully armored mode, but we're getting there. Let's see if we can get him to stand. He actually was not this back heavy earlier. I don't know what the issue here is, but oh, come on. All right, so there he is. Now, again, there's just not enough light hitting him. He's so dark. There we go. So he does have these pieces hanging off his back. They're not horrible, but and you can fold them up a little bit. But again, if you don't like them, pop them right off. It makes him a little bit of a skinnier bot, but you can pop them off and leave them to the side. No issues. Now, he can hold his shotguns like that. You can combine the guns. You can take this kibble right here that was on the back of the truck, and you pop this piece off, this piece off. This piece slides out like this, and then there's a peg hole up in here that you can peg one shotgun up into, like this. This clips on right here, these angled pieces here, which then can connect to the other shotgun in that same area. Just turn this other shotgun upside down, clip it together, and then this piece slides in. There's a little tab here, slides in like this, and then you plug in the barrel. Yeah, this way. And now you've got the giant rifle, which he can again hold. He can also hold. If you can get his handle in his hand. So yeah. So there's that. Now we get to the crazy stuff. I'm going to go ahead and put these back on. Crap, I think it was, yeah, this way. I think it was that way. Was that way, right? Well, I guess we'll find out. But yeah. So we'll have those hang down off the side. And then we take these pieces back here. This one doesn't have the hands in it, so I'm going to go ahead and do this one first. This piece separates out. You just kind of untab it from the top and, oh, here we go. Just lift this up a little bit. Slide that piece apart. Actually, before we get into that, size comparisons again. Here he is with Orion. So you see he's much larger compared to Orion than he was in vehicle mode. Well, again, he does have a much bigger chunk that turns into his robot than just the cab. Here he is with all the other members of his team. And again, about the G1 scale of the leader to the limbs. Here he is with somebody wanted to see him with Make Toys Hypernova, and we'll show him combined with him as well. And for the last one for now, here he is with Toy World's Hegemon. He's a peach taller at the top of the head, but they look okay together. And if you get the new feet that somebody's making for him that make him that big, it'll look okay. So okay, now we're on to these pieces. And this piece right here, you can see there's some missiles in here and some missile pods, and you actually flip these little missile pods out to the side like this. You want to untab them because they're pegged into the side of this. Bring this down a little bit, and then you don't flip them up. What you kind of do is you want to bend them down and then lift them up and over like this. So this little tab right here on the top of it is going to tab into the bottom of the innermost missile. So you lift it up like that, and then push it so that tab goes into the missile like that. And same over here. And then you can fold this down. Yeah, that should be able to fold. Okay, you don't want that to fold all the way out. There you go, about like that. So it sits at an angle. And then we'll separate this one too. Then once you've done that, the hands just pop right off. Put them off to the side for right now. And you do the same thing on this piece. Angle this piece just a little bit, flip out these missile launchers, and then slide this up onto the top together, just like that. So there you've got two of those halves. And these pieces right here, you don't do anything with except stick the hands in there. And the hands, you just put the thumb on top. I don't think it really matters which side. Put the fingers over, and then there's two slots in the back of the hand here. They're going to peg in right here underneath and there's even a curve here that goes under this kind of piston part. Just like that. Plug it into the, come on. Peg it onto the back there. Fold up the fingers however you wish. I like them. The box art actually shows the fist in. They're all folded up really tight. The fingers are a little loose, but I haven't had any problems with that. Just like that, holds it all together. And you don't really do anything else with this. Now, they've shown some of these as little you can make these little missile pods in front of the guys, and you'd have to kind of back weight this, but you can use these as little turrets for the smaller robots. And do the same over here. Take the fist. Where's the other fist? There it is. Fold it up. Stick it in there behind that curve part, plug it in. Come on. There we go, plug it on, fold it up. And that's pretty much all you do here with these. Now you'll notice that this has a round, like a circle up here, and then a tab on the bottom. And that's how these new connectors work. Now you flip these up on the shoulders. And one of these, I think this one over here is going to be a pain in my butt. But this little tab on the back, like all the connections lock. So you push this on, push it over the spring, and it can take a little force once you get it lined up right, and then rotate it down. So now it's locked on. I just pulled this off, but it's locked onto that joint. It still ratchets and everything, but it's not just going to fall right off, which is nice. Like just if you drop your combiner and grab it by a connection joint, it's not going to pop off and then have your combiner fall to the floor. Oh, come on, let's go back together, please. And this is what I mean by it's kind of, there's fiddly parts of this. Because this doesn't peg on super tight into the inside. There we go. So that goes there. Do the same on the other side. And this is the one that was giving me all kinds of trouble earlier. Because the spring didn't want to... It doesn't go on right away. You just kind of got to wiggle it until it all lines up in there. There, oh, did I almost get it? Ah, come on. Yeah, this one is just a pain in the... Come on. Yeah, let me see if I can. Yeah, see, the thing is, once you get... Something about lining it up. Like, once it lines up, it snaps right on. But it's just, this side especially just doesn't want to line up right the first try. And then these two panels, there's tabs on either side, and it doesn't matter which side you use. And there's some slots back here behind his head, and you just slide that in. Oh, okay, we'll do it on this side then first. And there you have him all armored up with the whole trailer. That's all of Diesel right there, with the exception of the sword and the shield. And he can hold the shield. You can tab the shield onto one of these pieces. You can have him hold it in his hand as well. There's a little flip out this little handle, and he can hold it in his hand. Ow. Okay, or you can pop the handle off because you can't see what you're doing. He can hold it in his hand. We're going to tab this up here. I don't want to bleed. Now the sword is stored on the back here. It says to rotate one of these wheel pieces up, and there's a tab on the wheel piece that lets the sword... It actually has it pointed straight up for some reason. You can store the sword on the back. It looks a little silly, sticking straight up off his back like that, but it is an option to store everything in robot mode. So yeah, there he is all armored up. And again, just real quick with Orion, here he is. You can see much bulkier now than Orion with all the mass all put together. I'm going to swap these the smaller robots into limbs, and then we will go ahead and wrap this puppy up by combining them. Alright, and on to combine mode. We'll go ahead and get the rifle out here. We're going to go ahead and separate that back out into its constituent components. Pull this out and get the clip. Go ahead, and the clip goes... Gotta figure out, there's a little slot, there we go, this clips in here, this clips in, there's a couple little grooves there, clips in right up here, and this piece, this little rectangle tab plugs in right here, and there's that little chunk right there. We'll set that off to the side, as well as these. The sword can come off the back, we'll just set that off to the side as well. Oh, sorry, bumped the camera there. And then on to, we're going to go ahead and pop these combiner pieces off, line those back up, and where's the notch on that one? Yeah, it's on the back. So there we go, get those off. Go ahead and separate out the hands. We're going to want to do that as well as this piece. So if that comes off while you're pulling these, you want all three of these pieces separate. Go ahead and slide these off right here. Take that back. Again, you can pull that off, and wiggle this. I don't know why this one does not want to cooperate with me. There we go. And that's off. Okay, you know what? You just lay there for a minute. So now we've got all these constituent pieces. We're going to set these off to the side for right now. Take this chest piece, or the little car, and basically what you're going to do is flip these up, flip these down, just like that, and we're going to set that off to the side for the time being. Now these pieces, here's where it gets fun. I'm going to take this piece, flip this down and back like this, fold those pieces together so they interlock like that, flip this piece up, and then bring this piece around and this other piece around, and there you have the foot. And now you see why this piece doesn't flip up. The hinge only allows it to fold back under for the front. You can't flip this up at all. So people were asking about that. That's how that works. Do the same on this piece. Flip this down, interlock these together, flip that around, flip that up, and then flip the two side pieces out and around to form the foot. Set that off to the side. Now these pieces, all you want to do on these is lift these pieces out to the side a little bit. Just pop them out. Flip this straight up like that, and then fold these pieces back in. There's little tabs here that are going to fit into these slots. And then once that's straight, take it. These two guns right here fit into these two slots on either one of the lower piece. So put that together, and there you've got the lower leg assembly for what's going to be the combiner. So do that on both of them. Put that up, flip that straight up, reattach it back onto those slots right there, which locks that in place, and then peg the guns together just like that. There is a ball joint right here, as well as a forward and back clicky joint. So there is some ankle articulation in the combined mode, but we're going to set that off to the side. Okay, and I'm going to scoot back in here so we don't lose room. Here we go. Come on. See if I can't raise this up a little bit so I can get just a wee bit closer. Alright, come on. Tripod is not one to be my friend tonight. There we go. Okay. So now the main torso mode here. I'm going to flip this down, turn his head around, fold it down like that. Actually, while you fold this down, you want to reach in here, slide this out, and as you fold his head down, like it's about halfway there, you want to pull this so it has some clearance there, comes all the way out. Flip that down, and here you can see there's Minosaur's head. I'm going to flip his horns down, or his helmet pieces down. We're going to leave that up like this. Now these pieces, we're going to rotate back, close them up as if they were arms. Rotate this out, up, slide the hand, rotate the hand, slide it back into place, tab it in, close it up. And again, just make sure that here's the shoulder piece, make sure that tab is on the outside. So again, fold it up, on the outside, hand in, slide this up, plug it in. Come on, plug it in there. Tab that in there, and then fold this up into here, so this all hooks together again. Come on. Like that. And then you pull this up. Actually, I think you do want to collapse that back down. And there's a little curved piece right here that this little circle is going to sit in. So and that's going to hold this assembly out. So fold this up. It'll tab in. This little tab right here will go into the little slot here in the back of this. It'll all peg together. Come on. Where are you? There we go. There we go. Lock together, make sure that sits up in there, and then do the same on the other side. There we go. You see now you've got this whole, you can see the upper body of combined mode. And now here's where it gets silly, because you gotta get this, you wanna get this up, you gotta bring these back pieces around like this. And this is where some of these tabs will stress, especially on the wheel pieces. It might be easier to go ahead and pop them off the ball joints. I'm gonna try to keep this all together. how do you do this? Now you gotta, let's see, there's three waist pieces here. There's this piece, this middle piece, and then this lower piece. And they all have to rotate around in a certain way. Okay, you come down like this. I think this even rotates around. Maybe not. I think you need to rotate this. Well, you want to get this around. Maybe? Okay, we're going to leave these off for right now. Just, again, for clarification. So here's this. This is going to be his back. This is obviously his crotch plate. That goes there. And I remember there's a tab that this tab locks in up under here. So somehow we've got to get that. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so this locks up under here. Yeah, so on top of the rotating waist pieces, it also rotates up here. And then once that's done, you can rotate it around here at the waist to bring this forward. And these pieces, if you did it right, you can see this tab's already stressed a little bit right here, because you have to, while you're doing that, you have to rotate this around and then bring it up so that that tab ends up in that slot up here. Oh, you rotate the, oh no, what the? Oh yeah, okay, these pieces slide out as well. So this slides back, and then it sits right there, it tabs in right here, and then it tabs in up on the top here to form the back kibble, or the back armor. So this piece right here, make sure this is slid out as well. And again, so in the ball joint, and then you got to get that tab in there. So you can see it's already kind of at an angle the way you have to do it. So it's going to bend that tab a little bit, no matter how you do it. Get that in there. There we go. And then tab it up in here on top. The tabs on top aren't the strongest, but it will tab into place up there. And there's the torso. Now you can take this little piece right here that we folded up earlier, and it's going to sit, this tab right here is going to go into this slot right here, and then this tab on the bottom is going to go into the back of his smaller robot head. If you can get that to line up right, there we go. Alright. And then down here, the legs are you're going to open this up, you're going to bring the feet down and around. You want to bring this back out like this. The feet come down. You got to rotate this piece all the way back around like this. Rotate that around, and basically what you're trying to do here is get, there we go, this tab into this slot. There we go, just like that. Oh, my eye stings. Oh, excuse me. Alright, and then bring this back and around like this, close this up, and then then you want to bring this whole assembly up to the upper thigh, like that, and then this tab right here is going to peg into this piece right here and lock all that together. And there you have the thigh done. And it's the same on the other side. Open it up. Let's bring this up. Rotate that window all the way forward here. Bring this down, under. Rotate this around like this. Bring it around on this hinge. Peg it in like that. Then bring this whole assembly up. This was much harder earlier. The first time you do this, it's insane. And then bring this around. Make sure this pegs in right here. And there is the torso. Now, from this point, what we're going to do here is these leg pieces. Again, the tab is on the front here, so you snap them on like this and then rotate them around. Now they ratchet and they're locked on. So now he's got a leg. And you just do the same over here. Snap it on, rotate it around to the front, plug those guns back in. And there's the framework of Diesel for Motormaster. I'm going to back up here. And yes, he can, as you can see, the legs are, they're skinny, but they are capable of supporting him alone, without the cars. I know some people were a little disappointed at that but that's just the way it is. It's kind of a neat use of the trailer pieces, the way it all combines together and forms that skeleton. It's really neat. Yes, it would be nice if the cars were more of the bulk on the bottom, but that's just the way it is. Now the cars on the bottom, as I mentioned, they're already in. Basically, it's just car mode with this piece moved up a little bit. You can leave the guns attached. I generally take them off and put them to the side, but you can leave their guns attached in vehicle mode. And basically what we're using here is this triangle. The crotch and then the two peg holes right here, and they're going to peg onto this triangle of pegs right here on the leg. Just like, let's get it all lined up. There, cool. See, you're lined up. Didn't have as much trouble. There we go. And then that just locks right on. And then again, get T-bone over here. Same triangle right here. And get him pegged on. Is he pegged on all the way? Oh, yep, you are. How about that? All right. Oh, getting cloven hoofs there. There we go. There he is. I'm bumping it, I'm sorry. Trying to get this all in frame. I brought my bigger tripod tonight so I could do this properly, and it's just working around it is kind of a pain in the butt. Alright, so, and then the arms are basically lower half robot mode, top half car mode. That's really all there is to it. Now his arms, you can, if you don't want to store the gun piece, you can have that. You can just fold that up and have that closed off like that. Or maybe if he's holding the rifle, although I have not been able to get him to do that. Otherwise, you can take this. You have to leave these open, but this piece right here, this slot right here, clips onto these two pieces where the legs meet. So you can just clip that whole piece into the arm, and it fills in the forearm there. Now you want to do that after you attach the hand, and you have to do that by, let's go ahead and get this together. The hand actually pegs in, let's get his left hand here. You take this piece, and right here, these little pieces, I think you actually want this way for this. Peg it over that. And then peg that whole thing together again. Yeah. Hold on. Something got munged up here. There we go. No? Yeah, there we go. So yeah, there, like I said, there, and you just close that all up. You can leave it like that. It does tend to leave the arm a little flat. If you want a little bit more coherence and a place to store the extra gun pieces when he's not using the gun, take that, clip that right on in there. And there's his left arm. And to attach that, you take this and you clip these pieces onto these little tabs on the side of his waist first. You clip that on, and then you just rotate this up so this peg goes in here and these two smaller pegs go in up here. Just like that. And then once that's done, just like before, you clip this on with the tab in the back. This is the one that always gives me trouble. Now that it's reversed. There we go. Clip it on, ratchet it down, the arm is locked on, and there you go. Downforce, you want to make sure downforce's wheels are locked into place, because if they're not, the hand's going to be really floppy, because it uses these wheel wells to peg in, and if it's loose, it's going to flop around. So do that. Plug them together. And that's all there is to attaching downforce's hand. And then the same thing over here. You take these little clips, clip them into the side. There you go. Flip that up, tab it into here, and just like before, plug it on. Come on. There we go. Ratchet it down, and there is M3 all combined, ready to go. And he's actually bigger and bulkier than he looked in initial photos. He actually has some bulk to him, and he looks kind of cool. He's skinnier than some, but he looks like he could kick your butt. You can give him his sword. Just tabs onto a tab there in his hand. His shotguns, let me get in a little bit closer here again, on his back. And see, he's much fuller in the back than it initially looked like. A lot of shots made him look very hollow back here. And you see there is, there's some hollowness between here, but like a lot of it made it look like he just had this front piece for his waist and nothing. And he's actually pretty solid all around. On these shotguns, there's some little triangular bits here on the side of this back part. And there's some little triangular grooves right here. So you just have it with the handle facing out. And you can peg the shotguns right there onto the back. You can keep, like I said, you can keep these guys. You can keep their guns stored on them in car mode. Downforce's gun, it says to peg into this little peg hole right on the side of here to store it in combined mode. And for Last Chance, it tabs right here on this little holster that we found for robot mode. It pegs in right there. So you can store all the guns on combined mode. I generally just leave them off to the side, but you can store them all in there. And since these are, you might be able to store the other guns in some of these peg holes on downforce if you can find the right size peg hole, obviously. So yeah, there he is, all hossed up, ready to go. Now, I know a lot of people wanted size comparisons, which is why I brought this big old tripod, so we can fit all this stuff in the frame. So real quick, since we've already used him a few times, here he is with Orion. Much larger, as you can see. Here he is with Hegemon. This is going to be a very long video, and I apologize for that, but you want to see it, you want to see it. Let me put Hegemon off to the side so you can actually kind of see them together. So with a couple of Toy World figures. Here he is. If you want to, I don't have G1 Menasor. I do have Defensor when they were about the same size. So just to get an idea of how much bigger he is than a G1 combiner, there you go. I guess with Hypernova, we'll do him with Nove. I kind of like the way those two look together. The light and dark. Alright, let's get his, I guess, spiritual, at least aesthetic brethren up here. Here he is with Giant. And actually, that's making Giant look really big because he's way up front. There he is. There they are side by side. Giant and M3. Here he is with Colossus. Get him. Much larger than Colossus, as you can see. Alright, just for the heck of it, here he is with Fall Cybertron Bruticus. G2icus. He's not G2icus, but... Here he is with Glacial Lord. Here he is with Hercules. Now you see all the stuff I brought in today to work to compare for you guys. There he is with Hercules. I kind of like that scale with Hercules being a little bit bigger. And here he is with Mastermind's Feral Rex. I don't know if those are... Let me see if I can get him to stand up a little straighter. Okay, yeah, he's not even really all the way in frame. So yeah, there he is. Give me a second, I'll show off one more thing with him after a quick edit, and then we'll wrap this up. And the last little bit is, yes, they can indeed Scramble City style combine. You can swap them out wherever. I'm only doing this side because I don't want to mess with all of them. And basically, it's just reverse the process. Put downforce and last chance in car mode, and then just face them down and plug them into the shins. And for these guys, again, top half car mode, bottom half robot mode. There's the same type of little plug. You want to rotate his legs in so these are facing forward, but then otherwise it just snaps together with the fist in, just like the other ones. Now, earlier I thought it wouldn't work because these connectors didn't work. I totally forgot these guys had the flip-up chests here. So you, on Car Crash and T-Bone, transform them the same way you would these guys for arm mode, then flip up those chests, and then you've got those 3 pegs right here. Now these guys have nothing to clip in here, and the clips don't fit in here, in these slots. So basically what you do, there's even little recessed grooves in here for it. You just fold that up, this little clip part up into there, and then you peg it on, like, let's see, get it all lined up. Line it up, peg it on, and you can have the other cars as limbs. So you can swap them around however you want. Now, because these don't clip on very well, they don't have that clip to really lock them in place. The connection is a little looser. It's easier to pop these guys off. Ideally, the ideal configuration is standard. Lot less liable for things to pop off that way. But it's not a super loose connection, but it is much easier to pull the arms off if you have Car Crash and T-Bone as the limbs versus Downforce and Last Chance. So yeah, overall a really nice combiner, really solid. As you've seen, it took a while, and part of that it goes faster when I'm not reaching like 2 feet past the camera around to to show it off. But there are some finicky bits, and there's definitely some parts where you have to do things in a certain order if you don't want to risk breaking or damaging anything. It's pretty apparent, and even those, and most of the stuff that could conceivably break is designed to pop off instead of break if you try to do it the wrong way, like you saw those back panels. When I couldn't get them to clear off, they decided to just pop off, and so that's it's kind of a safety feature, but do be careful with it the first couple of times you transform it, as I'd recommend with really any new transformer. And like I said, the instructions in some of those places are really vague. Like I said, it doesn't show you where to flip out. You'll see arrows in random places, like very early on in the transformation to robot. You can see, open up these panels here, swirl them down to the side, and it shows this arrow, hey, flip them out. And in the next panel, hey, look, they're flipped out. But also in the next panel, which they don't see, the wheels have already been folded around behind these panels. And there's nothing here that really, like, are you supposed to flip out the wheels, or are you supposed to flip out this? You know, like, there's a lot of steps like that where it shows an arrow to do one step, and in the next picture, that step is done, plus like 2 other steps have been done. And it's like, wait a minute. So you try to do the next step, and something's in the way. So you got to keep a close eye on that. But yeah, he really is a nice-looking robot. Like I said, he's much bulkier and beefier than he looked in initial photos. He does have some of the gaps in the forearms, which is a little bit of a slight disappointment. So many, like I know the Unique Toys Predaking has those as well. It's not the first time it's been done, but after some of the other combiners we've gotten recently, it's kind of a shame to see the gap. But there are ways to minimize it. There's plenty of ways to pose it where it doesn't look bad. And honestly, again, if you put them in the stock configuration, just the way Downforce and Last Chance are, they don't show the gap quite as much as Last Chance and Car Crash, or T-Bone and Car Crash do. Mostly because they were designed to be this way first, and then they add they have the capability to swap around. So yeah, there is Diesel, aka Military Multiplexer, Motorforce Military Multiplexer, M3, the combiner, and quite solid, quite cool. I'm going to wrap this up before the video gets way too much longer. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it. You should be hitting stores in the beginning of January, so by all means, keep an eye out for that if you've got them pre-ordered. Definitely worth the wait, I think, despite some of the fiddliness. He's a really impressive-looking combiner, and a lot of good. He's got a waist swivel. I'm not going to start posing him here, but he's got arm joints that go up and down, forward and back. He's got swivels here at the bicep. elbows. He does have a waist swivel in combined mode. Right, it's right here, basically right there where we turned him around at the top of these plates. His head is on a ball joint. It is a little limited, obviously, because of the way it. He's got those big shoulder pads there, but it is posable. He's got knee joints. He's got ball joints at the ankle, as well as those joints that can go back and forth. So you've got some good range of motion there. He does have knee joints. He can rotate there where those pieces connect, as well as he's got the same hips that he does in regular robot mode. So he's quite posable, even in combined mode. So there he is, Diesel and M3.